Your attention, please. And now, on with the show.
Live from Paradise Studios in New York, Strong Island Television presents Under the Radar, starring Randy Unger. Brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Tonight, Randy will be ushering in the holidays and review Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker with special guest critics Amanda Vasquez, Erica A., Robin Channing, CJ Oakland, Nick Commando, Forrest Bennett, and live via Skype from the North Pole, Santa Claus. And now, here's your host, Randy Unger.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Under the Radar, where we talk all things film. And this is a very special holiday edition, and I have a wonderful panel of guest critics today. Recurring guest critics and wonderful people all around. We've got Amanda Vasquez.
Hi.
Mentalist magician Robin Channing.
Hello, hello.
Erica A., we started together.
Yes. Back for how many years back, though?
What was that, 3 years ago?
3, 4, yes.
3 or 4 years at Madhouse Studios.
Yep, so here we are bringing in another new year.
Yeah, full circle, right?
Yeah, right? You
and
are.
yeah, and we got CJ Oakland in the back, dressed very appropriately, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Very topical.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm jealous.
Nick Commando, another recurring guest critic.
I'm alive.
You're here, you're alive. Thank you for being alive.
You're welcome. Glad I did not die today.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And Forrest Bennett,
Randy.
welcome back. Another great shirt.
Thank you.
I'm jealous of you too, Forrest.
So guys,
I'm usually that guy.
so basically we've got just one movie to talk about. I subject you to too many movies over the year.
You do.
Of varying qualities.
Right. But
It's nice that you know that you subject us
yes,
to
I'm
it.
aware.
Nice.
It's carefully planned.
Cheese graters for the brain. Some of that.
If there's any brain left at the end.
Robin is very colorful, thank you.
I aim to please.
So guys, we just have one movie, the biggest movie, it's a lovely way to cap off the year, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9 in George Lucas's wonderful saga.
Oh wait, I watched New Hope.
Oh, you did?
Well, this was right.
Yeah, this is the
I
new
saw
one.
The wrong movie.
Oh, you can leave now. That's fine. No, we'll make do. We'll make
All
do.
right.
How did... Okay.
Remember who you're talking to, Aaron.
I know, but still, I mean, numbers. You just find the last one.
I can't count that high.
Okay.
Well, George Lucas can, because back with the New Hope, that was episode 4 at the time.
Four.
So he knew all along.
Yeah.
Would it be the
original
Roman
cut
number?
didn't even have the number.
Would it be the Roman numerals that would screw things up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the original books did.
Or the original theatrical cut didn't even have an episode number on
It was just called Star Wars back in 1977.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah,
We added that on later.
The Roman numeral thing
edition.
came later.
Wait, when did they change it for the prequels?
the 1997 special edition.
Oh, gotcha.
Really? Okay, because my whole life, all I can remember are the Roman numerals, so...
Yeah,
Yeah, well, wait,
Actually, that's
back in
not true.
1980 when Empire came out, did they
Empire.
did they have Roman numeral 5 at that point or what?
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
See?
But they added the 4 for New Hope and the title New Hope in 1997.
But Empire Strikes,
late?
but Empire Strikes Back, that's when they knew that they wanted
I
to do
regret making
prequels.
this joke now.
Interesting.
I regret making this joke.
We have went off on quite the tangent.
Well,
You don't want to talk about the minutia of Star Wars cataloging?
I'm not really that
Star Wars
fan of
history.
Roman. I'm not that big of a fan of Rome or their numerals. So.
Okay, thank you.
Or mathematics in general,
No.
counting.
But guys, are you?
Let's leave it to Mel
Yeah.
Brooks and his movies to.
Yes.
Are we going down the
They want to,
Spaceballs
it's
route
okay.
now?
No,
No, history of the world.
Wait,
wish
Thank
you were
you.
watching
I thought this-
Spaceballs.
Parodying Roman numerals doesn't
But
work.
guys, overall, are you Star Wars buffs, Amanda?
I'm definitely not.
You're definitely not. Okay, that's cool. You got a lot to learn, but you get the
We'll
general
bring you
idea.
up to speed.
Yes.
This was the first Star Wars movie Amanda watched.
Yeah. Well, no, you
The
saw-
first? Oh,
Really?
boy.
No.
It was? Oh my god.
Wait, didn't you see? I think we,
Wait, you didn't even watch the right one.
Okay, let's remember what movie we're on.
Right, Rise of Skywalker. What did you think, Amanda?
I mean, as a person that's watching it for the first time,
Yes.
Watch them in the right order.
Star Wars noob. That's what-
literally out of order watching
Yeah.
this one first.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Sure.
I don't know. It felt like your average good versus evil type movie.
Yeah, they're
I
all like
liked
that
it.
basically.
I definitely
It's
liked it, but
That's the.
I definitely
That's
liked
the formula.
it.
That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
formula.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I was confused in some parts, but for the most part, I could follow it. I knew the basics of the other movies, so I wasn't confused when they brought in the old characters. But I liked it. I mean, it was entertaining. It was a little bit predictable, but average. Like, it was average good versus
So
evil
you weren't
movie.
impressed by it?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of in the same.
I'm like, not really.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think
in
it
that
was
same
trying
camp.
to be
As
like a
CJ
big.
with his sweater.
No, like
sitting
I agree
behind
with
me.
you. Like I don't think it was trying to be like a big game-changing movie. It literally was like by the numbers.
Yeah.
Like
Trying
this
to-
is every movie you've seen
It
before.
felt just like
but you
Last
just get to
Jedi.
watch
It
it.
felt like
Basically,
the same movie.
In some ways,
Basically,
in
it
some
fits the
ways,
formula,
it's something
right?
else.
Right,
entirely.
far
I feel like it's just trying to provide a satisfying conclusion. Just trying to
Yeah.
get everything wrapped up. I don't know if they.
That's what it
I
felt
wasn't
like.
satisfied though. I don't know. I wasn't blown away. I didn't think it was a great.
The word
conclusion at all.
retcon seemed to
It was
flash
like
through my
it's
mind
not a
quite bit.
bad movie on its own. There's like
Yeah.
stuff that I find very dumb happening in it and questionable at times. But like
Yeah.
overall, it's an adequate movie. But I don't think it's a good like. If this is your third movie of a trilogy and the ninth movie of Star Wars, it shouldn't have been like that. I don't
Yeah.
think.
So you would have changed. You would have tweaked some things story-wise.
Yeah, like for me, the fact that this is ending up like this trilogy, like we had Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and now you have this one, Rise of Skywalker. I feel like most of what this movie deals with, the conflicts and themes, are all stuff that's introduced at the start of this movie and has nothing to do with what happened in Force Awakens and Last Jedi. And a lot of it is trying to retcon back and say like, no, it was actually this stuff happening all along.
Right.
I feel the same
Like
way.
introducing a brand new villain, saying like
Yeah.
they were the one who was the villain.
Basically, they made two good movies with Force Awakens and Last Jedi, but a bunch of incel Star Wars fans in their mom's basements got mad and went on Twitter and complained about it. So, in typical fashion, the movie studio decided they're not going to spend their money on another movie, so we have to do everything to make them happy, even though it's like 12 of them.
Right.
And that's how you get this movie.
Right. This felt almost exactly like Last
I don't
Jedi.
disagree with you, Nick, but I like how you immediately just went for pouring kerosene on the fire. You went right for the jugular. in every way.
Troublemaker.
I like your
love it.
directness, Nick.
How I roll.
Not sure I agree with what you said, but I hear a lot of the points you're making.
Erica, what did you think
win.
of Rise of Skywalker?
I mean, I thought it was nothing special, but I thought it was okay as a movie. My biggest flaw with the movie was I felt that Disney just used it as a way to recycle too many of their old franchises and old things that they had laying around from dead franchise and failed franchises.
Yeah.
For me, way too much of the movie was exactly the same as Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
Was that the latest one?
That was the last one. We brought back.
Dead Men Don't Tell.
We brought
Dead Men
back
Tell No
old-
Tales.
I don't know. I don't know them by, but
I
I'm like,
gave
we
up after
brought back
Spider-Man.
a
I gave up
random
after
and we
first
give,
see that.
and we give a girl this whole plot, and she's related to someone, and she gets all this focus, and then she moves on, and
Yeah.
she has this
'Cause
love.
They
was
wanted,
like-
everybody had theories of who Rey was going to be.
I know.
In the
No
first
No
film.
spoilers. No
Uh-oh.
spoilers.
Well, in the first film, everybody had their theories, and then in Last Jedi, they went in a specific direction that made you think.
That it was going to
Maybe
be
that
one
wasn't gonna
thing,
be the
but it was going to be
case.
another. But it was just the technology
Yeah.
looked too much like John Connor of Mars, and something
that.
else reminded me of Wall-E, and I'm like, all these Disney, what did you do? Just take little things
Yeah.
out from
They
here
really
and there?
did. Like
I
it's
absolutely
everything
agree.
we've seen before. Like
It's everything. That's
there's
what
so
I'm
much
saying.
stuff where I'm like, okay, this is like from
like-
we've seen it from past Star Wars movies. We're like, okay, this is a plot element right out of Winter Soldier. Is like
Exactly,
going into
but
the
it's like
conflict.
we
There's so much
own
stuff where
this
like
stuff
I've
already.
seen this
Let's
stuff.
just
It's
recycle
well,
it.
Right.
it's well done, but
Right.
it's nothing I haven't seen before.
Technologically, it's beautiful.
The new
But
trilogy, it's
story-wise,
it's an overt money grab at the end of the
sure.
day. Like you didn't need more Star Wars stuff.
Right.
Well, you always need to do marketing for Star Wars.
Right.
True.
And at the end of the day, there were some characters and stuff in this film that, are going to be merchandise money makers for Disney because they're a struggling studio. They really need the money.
Nice little irony there.
They got to turn it up on
seriously,
the
right?
money, bringing it in.
They
'cause
can't.
their movies don't make money.
No.
They can't let their props go to waste. They have to reinsert them and reuse them.
And this was the 9th film, and this caps off the series.
Yes.
The sequel trilogy, at least.
But they're going to be obviously be making
Of
more of
course.
these.
They're not making more trilogies, though, supposedly.
Spin-offs,
They're going to
spin-offs,
continue
like
to do
just-
the characters,
Rogue
but
One
they're
Solo.
not going to be
Wow.
trilogies.
Because-
In 10 years, they'll announce a new trilogy.
Like I like Solo a lot, and Rogue One was
me
great.
too.
I like
Yeah.
Solo.
I enjoyed
One.
Solo.
Those are they're
Rogue One was very
gonna
good.
those are gonna branch off into their own things.
Which makes no sense to me because Rogue One was a totally separate story.
Yeah.
Set within the time frame of the original trilogy.
that was
but
was that after New?
It was no, it was
No,
right
right
before.
before.
Right before. Right
Within
before.
minutes
They're
of
trying to
New
get
Hope
the-
starting.
Yeah,
That's
they're
kind of
trying
a
to
weird
get
one.
the
They just kind
Death
of
Star
put that in
info.
there.
I thought it was
Yeah.
felt more like a fanfic at times that they just went, oh, let's make the story in just a marketing ploy. This could have happened right before New Hope started.
A bit, but I
It's
did
an
like that
insert
it told its
anthology.
own war movie within Star Wars. It wasn't trying to be like the fantasy mythology of like good versus evil that we usually get. I like that in
Or like with Solo, it was
Yeah,
a
and Rogue One is-
heist movie, more of a heist movie.
Solo's like a heist
was.
western movie. I like then when it's like this is the kind of movie we want to make, and they make it. I like that. Whereas Rise of Skywalker, I couldn't tell what kind of movie it wanted to be. Like it was definitely just doing the stuff from Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's like it's telling in such a generic way. I never felt like this movie was trying to have
seems
its own
like there was
voice.
just inertia.
It was
Your
a little
average
lazy.
good
When there's so much fan service.
But a love story, kind of.
Yeah.
when
Not
there's-
really.
When there's so much fan service rolled into a film, you get Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it was just a little lazy. But I love the relationship between Rey, Finn, and Poe. Like that's a great dynamic.
That's
the three of them.
true. Yeah.
It just
I like
reminds
it.
me of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and Leia.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
especially
Which
Yeah.
one is, but like, okay, Poe is Han Solo.
Yeah.
Rey is Luke.
Right.
I don't really think Finn is Leia.
No.
Can be.
One, he doesn't have hair.
Yeah,
At
but
most,
not yet.
If anything, he's Chewbacca.
We'll see what happens with his character.
Yeah, Finn is Chewbacca. He was he kind of was just there.
Interesting.
I think
Okay.
Finn makes
Very
it,
loose
I think Finn
placeholder.
made it decently in that there was like plenty of palpable sexual tension between them and Poe. Like even the actors were like, yeah, they should have made our characters gay. Like that would have worked. Like everyone was on board for
I
that
kinda
except Disney.
thought they were.
It looks like
Like
they're
there's
both
a
gay.
thing between Rey and Finn.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what they were
I mean,
going to
that
do.
other love thing that happened in this movie, that was weird. I was not. I was like,
Really?
why is
I
that
didn't
happening?
hate that. I would have not minded it ending with a little hope at the end.
But you know what, Robin, you've been a little quiet. What are your thoughts on the film?
What are my thoughts? Let's see.
I want to hear
Well,
this.
let's see. Where do I begin? Well, first of all, I appreciated what J.J. Abrams attempted with this movie because Force Awakens started with J.J. Abrams.
Yep.
Rian Johnson took over with Last Jedi.
Right.
And after the negative reactions that took place after in the aftermath of Last Jedi, I can see why they had to go back to J.J. Abrams. So kind of a lack of singular direction, so to speak, and so this almost felt like damage control with J.J. Abrams going back to the helm, as well as some, one could say, forced retconning.
Some by committee filmmaking.
You should have had one. You should have had one director for all three films.
Yeah, I think
Or you
JJ
should have had one
JJ would have been great
overlying
for his Last
voice
Jedi.
over
Someone
I
like
don't
a showrunner.
But
You
it's
don't need like
it's still-
necessarily one director for each for like all three movies, but they
Right.
definitely
Some
needed
direction.
they needed a plan.
Yeah.
Because J.J. Abrams made Force Awakens and said, I'm going to set up all these random plot things and characters.
Right.
I have no idea what's going to happen to any of them. I have no plans of what they're going to be.
Exactly.
just
I don't
want people
wanna
asking
do any
questions
other
and talking.
movies.
And that's not a good way
I
to do
love
it.
Force Awakens. I thought he did
No,
a great
I enjoyed
job.
Force Awakens,
Yeah.
but then I realized as soon as like Last Jedi started, like this movie Force Awakens kind of left any sequel like really like in the lurch because there was no idea of where this is going to be, and people spent 3 years speculating like who's this character related to, what does this thing mean, and then if you say the wrong answer, certain people are going to be angry. There was like no right way to go from
So
there.
do you think JJ should have done Last
J.J.
Jedi?
Abrams did what you do when you're setting up a trilogy.
Okay.
Sorry, I really wanted
Yeah.
to get that out.
Well, the classic trilogy did have different directors. I just wanted to drop
Right,
that.
right, but
there was a sense of singularity going in the
Because
overall
of George
direction.
Lucas.
Yeah, but George Lucas was there
Lucas
the
did
whole time.
right.
True, true.
Urban Kirshner did Empire?
Urban Kirshner did Empire.
Right. And
And
who did Jedi?
oh god, I'm
I
sure.
think
Steve Irwin.
What? No.
Martha Stewart.
Right, yeah.
Anyway,
John Candy.
but the different directors, it works in those types of
Yeah,
cases.
but it was George Lucas's story, so there
Right,
was,
right.
there was
It was
one
his
overall
path.
direction going.
That's
You
true.
needed a Kevin Feige type to oversee the
Exactly.
whole
There you
thing.
go.
Because what
Interesting.
JJ
Yep.
did was he set up in Force Awakens. He did what you do when you're setting up a trilogy, where you have the reins of all three movies.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that knows where everything's going to go. And then if you decide to bring somebody else in who's like, well, let's go in a different direction with it. The fans aren't going to be satisfied.
Right.
But B, it's also going to leave all these questions unanswered that you either decide, all right, you know what, let's either do spin-offs for those questions
Right.
or let's try and answer them in a third movie, and then it becomes jumbled and you get Rise of Skywalker.
Now, does
But
Disney...
that's-
Sorry,
Oh,
yeah.
I was going to say that's what makes a great trilogy, the fluency.
Right.
Right.
Beginning to
But
end.
does Disney...
consistency, if
Does
anything.
Yeah,
does
exactly.
Disney have a Phase 1, 2 thing for Star Wars movies?
No.
I'm not-
No,
I
I
don't think
doesn't-
so.
no, I don't think
They
so.
should. It's a
They have
huge
Kathleen
property.
Kennedy, and that's
I'm surprised by that.
Well,
I mean,
Well, I
Marvel
th-
and Lucasfilm are still. I mean, even though it's all Disney, but I think
Yeah.
they have their own their own, I guess, structure of how they put these movies together.
So that's so they could do whatever they want with it.
These films are also always going to make money, and I think a lot of with something like Star Wars,
Yeah.
I think you can kind of rest on your laurels and just say, I mean, people are going to come see these movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
You
true.
know, even if they
Right.
complain about them,
It's
which
been 43
is what
years.
less sense to me about it too,
You're
because
still gonna watch it.
Yeah.
you complain so much about Last Jedi, you're still going to come and see the
Right,
movie.
right, right,
It's
right.
not like Rise of Skywalker made $12 at the box office.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's...
well, I need to drop a couple points. One,
Mm-hmm.
as far as what the events that transpired in Rise of Skywalker, I think that if, say, for example, J.J. Abrams were in charge of the entire trilogy, there would have been more pre-establishment of certain details, of certain
Tightening.
events. Yeah.
Coherency.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Coherency, consistency. I think that would have been more present because this was a little bit more like damage control.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing is that with the way this, okay, I totally lost my train of thought on this one, but yeah, the consistency needed to be there if, say, J.J. Abrams were in charge of the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I think with J.J. Abrams as a director, he's not great at consistency. Like, when he started Lost, he was like, came up with good plot threads. And he said, like, when I started Lost, I had no idea where any of this was going to
really
go.
did
The first
say that.
four
Saw kinda
seasons
how
are
they-
great.
How they lost their way a bit. And that was the same thing here.
It goes downhill.
intended.
He
Yeah,
says
yeah.
that he has a mystery box approach where, like,
Yeah.
the mystery is more important than
No.
what's inside, and so he never comes up with what's inside. When he made Force Awakens, like, even if he had done the other two movies, he probably still would have went back and retconned things because he would have come up with new ideas,
Yeah.
or something that it seems he was implying he decided to change his mind on, or he just had no idea what he was going to do and writes himself into a corner.
I kind of did feel like
Yeah.
they have kind of
Definitely-
followed Lucas's
Yeah.
suit. I mean, if I recall correctly, Lucas actually did not originally intend Vader to be Luke's father or Luke and Leia to be siblings. I mean, think about Luke and
not with
Leia
the first
kissing in
movie,
New
that
Hope and
kind of
Empire.
coming
Yeah.
together.
I
There was some retconning in the classic
Yeah.
trilogy as well. Yeah.
Yep. It's valid.
But you also,
True.
I think the
Touche.
but I think the retconning that happened in this movie was more of an answer to dissatisfaction from fan base, more so than, oh, I have a better idea of what I can do with this. It was much more like, oh, well, the fans didn't like that, this person got killed, so let's throw this other person in there and make it seem like he was there the whole time, when at the end of the day, you didn't have to necessarily throw that person in there for that specific reason. They could have just been there the whole time. You could have just rolled with it and been like, no, this is what we were going to do the whole time.
Yeah.
You're a fan. You're watching the film. You gave me $20 to see this. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
So-
this is the point I wanted to bring up. I just remembered. It's a really difficult tightrope walk by Disney, by Kathleen Kennedy, by J.J. Abrams, or, Ryan Johnson, whoever. Here's the thing. On the one hand, people want classic Star Wars. They want
Yeah.
to see the classic elements. They want to see
Right.
Luke. They want to see Leia. They want to see, Han Solo, Chewbacca. They want to see Jedi versus Sith. At the same time, there's another appetite for something new.
Yeah.
To expand the universe.
How do you
Right.
how do you satisfy the people that want something old and classic, and at the same time something new and innovative?
You never
gave
do.
them something new and innovative with Last Jedi, and they just crapped all over it. That's the thing. Like,
I didn't
Star
realize
Wars
much-
fans want new stuff, but they don't want new
Last
stuff.
Jedi, you think it was
think
fresh
so.
and original?
At the same time,
I liked it.
But it went in a
I liked it
different
too. I just didn't think it was that
direction.
original.
Last Jedi was much more, we're not going to be beholden to the past, and we're not going to make everything so connected to the original trilogy or this person or that person. Let's go in a different direction, make it seem like, you know what, maybe Rey isn't related to anybody significant.
Okay.
Maybe she still is, because it's a movie, and we could just say she is, because movies, or maybe she's not.
I think this
Because there's
film.
plenty of heroes in films that aren't significant.
I think this trilogy of films ties in more to the original trilogy,
Right.
better than the prequel
Well,
trilogy.
the prequels
in
never
my
really
opinion.
The
tied
prequel was,
it
but the
to
prequel
it.
felt
It
like
was
three
more like a
separate stories.
filling.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was part of it.
Yeah.
Right,
you know?
No.
right,
I
because
totally
it's
stand
like
by
the
the
events
prequel
of what
I know,
happens
you
before
love
the
it.
original
Yeah.
I love the
trilogy.
second
So,
But it just didn't fit. Like there was no really connector between that. That's why Rogue One was so great. 'Cause
Yeah,
it-
yeah. But it's also, I think, the other thing with that too is, you know, J.J. Abrams was a Star Wars fan growing up.
Yeah.
You know, like the people that are making these films now grew up as fans of what George Lucas did.
Yeah.
You know, maybe sometimes and I watched the original, when Disney Plus came up, I actually went back and watched the prequels, and I watched the original trilogy.
Okay.
I don't think the prequels are as bad as people say they are. I really don't.
No. All right.
Like, there's things about them that are bad. Don't
Way
get me
too
wrong,
CGI
but
heavy and
absolutely,
total turn off.
100%.
I disagree with you there. I feel
I
like the CGI was
And I
necessary.
feel like
All right.
Absolutely
I feel like when the prequels
But you
came out,
don't
Lucas
like
became too
CGI.
beholden to them that he started altering the original trilogy to
Yeah.
become beholden to the prequel.
Oh, you mean the special edition 1997
Yeah, I hate
trilogy?
all the
2004.
special editions
Oh.
where they keep like trying to change stuff and like how the old movies were. That I hate.
Right.
I think also
I see where he's coming from. He wanted to create that much more consistency with his piece. You know.
there could also just be a lack of passion from George Lucas's perspective, where he's making the films because, yes, he wants to. You know, he wants to show that he can make all this with CGI and all that.
Yeah.
But it could also just be a lack of passion. It's like, well, you know what?
The money.
I proved myself already.
Right.
You know,
I remember
Because
seeing a thing-
a friend of mine mentioned that he had treatments for 7, 8, and 9 that he gave to Kathleen Kennedy when they bought Lucasfilm. They didn't do anything with them. You know, one, why is that? And two, why didn't you just make them yourselves?
Totally different stories from Abrams.
Yeah,
Supposedly they didn't
Wow.
do anything
Yeah.
he wanted them to do, and
From
that's
what I
why
hear,
he
they
hasn't
went in
really
their own
been.
direction.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So what was the point of giving them the screen?
because he probably thought they would do it for him as either
Wow.
a goodwill thing or just, you know, maybe he didn't think he could do it himself anymore. Who knows?
Wow.
Right.
Well, he's not so much lack of passion. I think it was just quite simply burned out after a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, you know, I'm just realizing something. Is Santa Claus still here?
Santa Claus is here.
Oh my God! Santa! We just got into this huge conversation. I'm so sorry.
Santa save us.
Santa, did you get my letter?
Did I get your letter? Of course I did.
Yes.
Oh. Santa, thank you so much for standing by. We're so sorry.
Not a problem. I've had the elves coming back. They keep asking me about which toys.
Uh-huh.
I know you're talking about Star Wars, right?
Yes,
Yes.
we are. We are. Are you a fan of the series?
I'm much more. I have to be honest. I'm much more of a Star Trek fan.
The audience
I'm up on
likes
my Star
that.
Wars. I'm
J.J.
even
Abrams
up on those
connects it all.
TV
That's
shows
right.
that they're coming up with now, like that Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're honoring John DeLorean by making a TV show about him, and I have to tell you right here, a sample of one of the toys from Man of DeLorean.
Oh, that's a
Great
car.
Scott.
That's so
that's
cool.
hard.
It's got the doors, and it's
Wait.
And I just don't understand how the DeLorean fits in with the Star Wars movies.
Oh, I see what you did there. DeLorean. Okay.
Man of DeLorean, isn't that John DeLorean?
Yeah, close enough.
Darth Vader from the planet
Basically-
Vulcan.
Basically, it's a man inside of that car driving through space. That's how it ties
Well,
in.
I think they're going to now have to affix lightsabers to the front of it.
Yeah.
Makeshift toy.
Well, I hope you don't. I hope you don't think I'm too naughty that we basically neglected you for 25 minutes.
Oh no.
I keep
that's
my
because
eye
of
open
Star
on
Keep,
it.
no, I deserve a lump of coal for that, for sure. So
Bituminous?
what?
Bituminous? Or anthracite? Which kind of coal would you like?
Kind of like a charcoal gray.
Choice of coal now.
Hey,
Yeah,
coal is going to be very important in this economy, okay?
I would think that
Very
organic would
progressive,
be the
Santa.
Yeah.
We're
Do you have
going into a
clean
whole
coal?
geological discussion now.
But
He doesn't deserve coal. He deserves dirt.
no, I deserve dirt. Thank you. Yes,
You deserve dirt. Wow.
Well,
Either
if
way,
it's
it's
coal,
mine
you
from the
compress-
earth.
Thank
if
you.
it's coal, you can always compress it into a diamond.
Right?
There you go.
Santa,
Smart.
what's the most coal you've given out in one Christmas?
Sounds like a
I
lot.
don't know if he wants to answer
Be
that.
like on that path. I know the dark
I'm
side
starting to
when I
suspect
see
he's
it.
going to make a different kind of list altogether, one just for Randy.
Yeah.
Everybody on this show right now,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's on a nice list.
on the note.
Well, I've never been on
That's
any
an
list, so
understatement.
Well, guys, I think we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more Star Wars talk, okay?
All right.
So we'll be back after this commercial break, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
And we're back. Hey, guys, Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Unger. And this is our holiday episode, and we've got wonderful critics. We've got jolly old St. Nick calling in from the North Pole. There he is through Skype. Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas.
How's it going, Santa?
It's going very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Very well.
Good.
Some of
good.
the elves are out watching the last Star Wars movie right now.
Oh, nice, nice.
Instead
the
of
night off?
making toys.
Yeah, the Star Wars franchise has generated some of the best toys ever in the history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lightsabers.
You know,
Especially lightsabers.
it's the birth of Kenner, basically, and their action figures in 1977.
Almost the
And
birth
then they
of
got
the
swallowed up by
action.
Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's all right. We're going to get swallowed up by Disney at some point.
Yeah.
Our Disney overlords.
So, guys, I'm curious. Are you fans of the original films? Like, I'm talking about the original trilogy. So, 77 to 83.
The classic trilogy.
The classic trilogy.
That's primarily my like as far as my Star Wars fandom. That's really where it lies with just mainly with the original trilogy.
Yeah. They're the
Although
best.
I didn't care for the prequels. I did like I do like the new movies. Not as much as the originals, but
Yeah.
I find them enjoyable.
Good. Okay. Cool.
So it's sort of a classic Coke, new Coke kind of feel.
I like that
Don't
comparison.
mess with the formula, right?
Erica, big Star Wars buff from the beginning.
I enjoy the original first trilogy, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6. I'm not a big fan of the original Star Wars as much, but that's because I was born after it came out. And so I grew up
Yeah.
on the later ones, and then I watch it, and I'm like, just blast the hole already! Blast the hole! And I'm like, I don't really care that we're waiting for Han Solo to come back.
Right. So basically, 1997 is around the time you kind of got into Star Wars?
Late 80s.
Oh, really?
I got cable when I was 3, and I learned how to work the remote.
You remember? All right.
I grew up on the third Karate Kid, and the third Star Wars, and the third Indiana Jones,
Nice.
and then it was like,
Threes
oh, there
were
were,
Power of Threes.
and then it was like, oh, there were earlier movies. Oh, I guess as they come back to TV, I can
remember,
watch them. But I like the prequels in certain aspects. I'm not as much a hater as plenty of the people out there, but I don't love them.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember my first Star Wars movie was actually on Christmas. It's my first memory of Star Wars. I was probably like 5 or 6. It was like at a relative's house, And I just remember like watching on TV. One of the uncles must have thrown it on, and I just remember seeing Luke Skywalker fighting the claymation Rancor and like throwing the skull at him and like diving out of the way. And I'm like a 5-year-old going like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Rewatching Return of the Jedi last week, the Rancor dying is probably to me the most heartbreaking moment in the whole.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to do anything. He's
and
just
then Gamma Guard.
They threw him a bone with a lightsaber, and he's like, "Oh, this is yummy. I want to eat it." And then it throws a skull into his throat and chokes him. And it's like, he didn't do anything wrong.
Right. That was great character design, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and this was your first Star Wars movie? Okay.
Amanda just came out from under a rock this morning.
Right?
Yes.
So you didn't grow up on Ewoks.
Dagobah.
What a deprived childhood.
Well, better late than never. She'll get to it.
It could be worse. It could be Chewbacca's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not
go there.
You all gonna have fun Life Day celebrations planned?
Robin, first Star Wars experience?
A New Hope.
Oh, nice.
Way back in the day, I exhausted that video tape beyond salvation, it's beyond recognition. And
we may have copies for you.
Classic trilogy all the way, and yes, just as much, the prequel trilogy. Anything George Lucas had a direct hand in, unconditional love.
Even the prequels.
What about the animated?
The animated?
Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Or do you mean the old Ewoks the old Ewoks cartoon animated series?
No.
Oh gosh, I dug it, and then the Droids animated series, I dug that as well. But as far as the movies, episodes 1 through 6, unconditional love. All right, and as far as the new trilogy, episodes 7 through 9, I consider that, if I were to recommend it to anybody, I would consider that optional.
Yeah.
I have a friend online who called it akin to anime filler. I'm almost inclined to agree with him.
Wait, with the Clone Wars?
No. No, he compared the new sequel trilogy.
Okay.
He compared it to anime filler, and I can see where he's coming from, and I'm inclined to agree with him, but at the same time,
I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
All right.
So but yeah, okay.
I'm just going to confess it right now. I'm kind of a bit of an outlaw. I mean, even though I did grow up a fan of the original trilogy, I'll admit a bit of an outlier as far as my introduction to it was actually those made-for-TV Ewok movies. Because Disney Channel, because before Disney bought Lucasfilm, Disney Channel used to show them all the time in the 80s.
What was it, the Ewoks Adventure?
Ewok Adventure and Ewoks Battle for Endor.
Okay. Now, what about the Star Wars Christmas specials?
I have found it floating around online and have watched it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's such a great thing because it's such like a terrible product, but made with all the actors. Like Carrie Fisher is coked out of her mind as they were filming this.
It's basically a variety show. I
love there's a rumor that when George Lucas went to Carrie Fisher to do like commentary and stuff like later on, her only condition was you have to give me a print of the Star Wars Christmas special, and that she shows it every year to people.
My God.
Because George Lucas hates it.
Oh boy,
that is funny.
He hated when Han Solo said "I know" in response to.
Was that improv?
Yeah, I think that was an improv thing, but you know what? I think I read somewhere that George Lucas hated that, and I'm like, well, that's Han Solo.
He's kind of a jerk.
That is his.
It's like iconic at that point.
And then she says it in Jedi.
And they flip the lines exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that was well done.
You know.
All right.
Dana, Santa, are you a big? Were you a fan of the original trilogy?
I was a fan of the original trilogy. I remember ducking into a movie theater. I won't go into why, but I remember ducking into a movie theater up at the North Pole, and I had no idea what Star Wars was.
Yeah.
And there I was, sitting in the theater. Bah! Comes up, and I'm like, completely blown away. What am I looking at? And then that spaceship came overhead. And I thought to myself, how am I going to put that in the sleigh?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Exactly. Miniaturization.
Yeah.
So sort of like my Mandalorian.
There it is. It all comes back to the Mandalorian.
Everything comes full circle.
I walked into Star Wars in the theater in this, what was it, 77, 78?
77.
77. I had no idea what the movie was. It was an accident. And it was a fantastic, it was the best accident I've had. But it was fantastic to see it without knowing anything about it, what it was about, who was in it. Come on, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
And it was almost like the old movies of the 40s and the 50s, waiting to see what happened in the next chapter. And that's why I like that.
Yeah.
I know they go from chapter to chapter in the prequels and the sequels, but somehow it, Han Solo locked in carbonite. It's like being in the North Pole with the ice.
I'd like to
What
see-
happens next? You got to wait till the next chapter.
Actually,
Tune
I
in
have a
next
question.
week. Same bat channel, same bat. Oh wait.
Cliffhanger.
I have a question for Santa. You ever encounter anything like a wampa up at the North Pole? And how do you deal with them?
Oh, well, what do you think? You can't have reindeer pull the sleigh all the time.
That
We've
Wampo's-
done a few things up here that you don't know about, and so far they've been, fairly docile as long as they're fed. If you guys want to come up and help feed them by hands, just make sure you have gloves.
Yeah. Word to the wise.
All right.
So
And let me
back.
tell you, they don't smell any better on the inside than the outside.
Nice. But back to Star Wars. I'm curious. What do you guys? I'm a big film score fan. I love film music, like almost too much. What do you guys think? Thoughts of John Williams and his work on the Star Wars franchise as a whole?
Legendary. I loved it.
Yes, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely some of the most iconic music around.
Yeah.
I think the reindeer are calling.
But I think his scores for E.T. and the Indiana Jones films are a little bit better.
Harry
I
Potter's
agree.
really good,
You know?
especially on Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Indiana
I mean, the
Jones.
Harry Potter.
Indiana
to me,
Jones is like-
iconic.
Good theme.
Or actually, earlier today I was watching. Earlier today I was watching Home Alone.
Oh, that's yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And his score for that one still always sticks out. Always
And,
It's
sticks
just-
out to me.
I think I definitely
And-
still like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. At Lincoln Square last year, they did Home Alone live, where they did the score. They performed it live, to the film. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Williams was not there, but he was there.
I
in
have
spirit.
a question. It's a little off topic. But
Okay.
since somebody mentioned DT.
Yeah.
Is there any rumor to an ET 2?
Well, we did.
There was a treatment written by Harrison Ford's ex-wife.
What?
Okay.
It's on. I remember finding it on Simply Scripts.
Huh.
But I haven't read the whole. I haven't read the whole thing.
It never materialized.
Yeah.
Well, they did recently, or it was about a year ago. They did a spot on TV. It was like
It was
the
Henry
return
Thomas
of
and
E.T.
E.T.
No, that's recent.
That was
this
recent.
year.
Yeah,
that was like
Yes,
this year.
that was just recent.
And they brought back Henry Thomas, who played Elliot.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty awesome.
Couldn't get Drew Barrymore.
I guess not.
She was busy with
She's probably
Charlie's
like, I'm
Angels.
above this.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool seeing E.T. and Henry Thomas back together, and I think ILM did the visual effects for that spot. So I guess that's as close to a sequel as you're going to get for now, anyway. But we'll see. Maybe they could bring that, expand that into an actual film. We'll see. It was a holiday commercial. I forget the
Commercial, yes.
Forgot what it was for, but Forrest, do you remember?
Sounds like a really successful commercial.
I mean, I remember,
we all remember it.
I
But there
remember the
was no
commercial. I have not
product.
actually watched it. I forget exactly what it's for, but it's not. I can
was
tell you
Samsung.
right now, it's not for Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
He was advertising Samsung or something like that.
Something interesting.
Yeah, it's electronics.
Some weird thing.
Crazy.
Yeah. But Amanda, since this is your first Star Wars experience, do you see yourself visiting the previous films? Do you want to learn more about it?
I mean, maybe the first trilogy, since everyone seemed like that was their favorite one. I
Yeah.
would start there.
The classic trilogy, right?
Yeah, the
Yes.
1 through 3.
The original.
You should go back.
Actually,
No,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6.
6.
You should watch them backwards. So watch Last Jedi and then Force Awakens. Then
No.
Actually, what I
Revenge
recommend,
of the Sith.
That'll screw with your head, man.
Actually, what I recommend for newcomers
No, I'm
is
agreeing with you.
what I recommend for newcomers is Machete Order, where you start out.
Why would he watch it? Why would she watch a Danny Trio movie?
Just throw that in there for no
It's
reason.
like the storytelling
well done, I'm proud
structure
of
of Memento.
Wait, what
Reverse
is,
order.
Well,
What is-
when you look at Star Wars, there are two ways to do it.
wait, I want to hear first. What is the machete order?
Machete Order is where you start out with episodes 4 and 5, and then you go into the prequels, and then you go back to and then you go and then Return of the Jedi, and then the sequel trilogy.
Why do you do that?
Because
Really? Why?
I feel like if you're new to the franchise, there's definitely more. There's more. If you watch the prequels first, then when you get to the original trilogy, you kind of like you're just kind of waiting for them to get to those plot points. So it loses its charm.
All right.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
But for
you should-
continuity purposes, prequels,
No.
Rogue One, A New Hope. And
Okay,
then
if you're
classic
going
trilogy.
Yeah, if
numeric
you're going
order.
numerically, it
Sequel
would be
trilogy.
the prequels,
Prequels.
Solo.
I'm
One.
sorry.
Actually,
You look like you're
motivating Amanda
crying.
less to watch them.
And then the
I
sequel
don't
trilogy.
think I'm gonna watch them.
No, not into it now.
Okay.
I'm weathering the
All right.
storm.
We're scaring her away.
I know, right?
Just watch it any way you want. It's fine.
Just watch it
just
when you're
like
able
that
to get to the
One of
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The
us.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You just watch The Mandalorian.
Santa loved the Mandalorian.
Also, check out
Yeah.
Clone Wars and Star Wars Clone Wars and Rebels,
Oh my god.
the animated series.
Right. There's a lot to watch.
Then
was
watch
my
the
gr-
Christmas special.
That was
And
my
also,
one great regret.
also check
we
out
never
Star Wars
met.
Legends, because those are the old Dark Horse comics from the 90s.
Oh
that
God, those, yeah.
Yeah, when you get into the expanded universe, there's the comics, there's the books, there's the video games.
Right.
Yes, there were books
There's
too.
a
We're
lot.
expecting you to come back
Stick
at the
to the
next
classic
Christmas.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Go for the prequel trilogy.
Just
go in numerical order if you have to.
take care of the required materials and then
Yeah.
write a 15-page paper and come back.
You're going to present
I'm gonna
about
fail.
them.
You'll present to
You're
the
gonna
whole
present-
group.
the
See you next
dissertation.
Christmas.
You're going to do a presentation at the next Christmas special
Yes.
about the film.
I'm
That's
gonna
actually-
stay on the naughty
yeah.
list because I'm gonna fail.
Right.
Well,
that how it
Santa,
works,
fire
Santa?
up the coal.
Right. All right. Well, guys, there's actually a totally random movie that I want to just mention real quick.
Is it Machete?
I wish. No, it's this new documentary. It's called, what is it called? What She Said, The Art of Pauline Kael. And it talks about the life and times of film critic Pauline Kael. She wrote for The New Yorker, and she was very prolific. She was very outspoken, and she was a female.
And she seemed to have it in for Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, yeah. She pissed off a lot of filmmakers
man.
back in the 60s and 70s.
And 80s.
Yeah, and
I mean, I think Willow, another Lucasfilm.
was she against that one?
No, but I remember there was a character in there, one of the villains, that the character's name was Kale.
Okay.
And I think
General
Lucas
Kale.
put her in
Yeah,
there
yeah,
just
the main-
to
Yes.
take a piss on
Yeah,
her.
he was played by Pat Roach, if I'm not mistaken, who played Darth Vader. Could be mistaken.
Was her enemy Rebecca Romaine?
No. But
Kale, Romaine,
I got
lettuces.
it. We got it.
I
Nick,
see
we got
what you did
it.
there.
Oh,
I
Little
can't.
salad joke.
But
I
anyway,
won't.
He's so proud of himself.
I'm so proud of myself.
But anyway, guys, since you're all film enthusiasts, What She Said, The Art of Pauline Kael, I recommend it. It actually opens. It already opened on the 13th, and it opens again on Christmas. So yeah, that's What She Said, The Art of Pauline Kael. If you're fans of film criticism, film theory, it's just a very enlightening documentary. I recommend it highly. Yeah. And also, segue into something a little more random. I wanted to talk about our favorite holiday movies. Favorite holiday movies of all time.
Muppet Christmas Carol. End of
Yeah.
Damn it.
Classic Star
Good
Wars
one.
trilogy for me.
Which one?
Classic Star Wars trilogy for me.
But is
That's
that
one
truly
of
a
my
Christmas?
There's no Christmas in that.
Well, it's just.
Unless you're trying to holiday special.
That's
There's a
true.
red and green lightsaber. I mean, that's as close as you get.
Yeah.
Santa
Darth
Green.
Vader and Obi-Wan's
Or,
lightsaber.
or Empire Strikes Back, Hoth. It's a whole planet
The
of snow.
moon of Endor. Lots of potential Christmas trees there.
Christmas.
That is totally, well, you know how families they battle each other.
For the last drumstick?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Santa, favorite Christmas movie or favorite holiday movie?
I think probably Elf is still one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah,
Really, not
that's
Miracle on 34th Street.
Well, the original. That was
Yeah.
one of my all-time. That and Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
Santa, was there ever a Christmas movie where you did not like how you were depicted?
That's tough. There are a few that I'm not fond of. Actually, I have to tell you that Rise of the Guardians is high on my list this year.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yes, I like
Is-
that.
Is
Not
that,
quite
That's
how
an
I
animated
appear,
one.
but
that's
I
eagles,
did like,
or like birds?
No, that's
No, that's
Legend of
Guardians
the
of Gahul.
Yeah, that's Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahul.
Silly
You have
me.
two people on this panel to do that.
Thank you for putting me in my place,
What's a high
gentlemen.
five, but okay.
Balance each other out. Balance
try it
to the
again.
force of movies.
The force is strong with us all.
He's like, what does owls have to do with this?
No.
They're a hoot.
As far as,
oh, that hurts.
I think as far as holiday movies,
More
you're wearing. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Gremlins.
Yes.
You're wearing my favorite Christmas movie on your on your sweater.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Gremlins is a classic. I love the opening shot and the music, and yeah. I think that was that Hill Valley?
That's the Universal Studios backlot.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome. Even though that was Warner Brothers, but they use different
Yep.
studios. Yeah, that's cool. Did we get to everybody?
No.
No, not yet.
Erica, favorite
Okay.
holiday movie?
Well, I'm going to go not to my all-time favorite, but I'm going to go what has become the most endearing to me in this last new millennium. The Holiday.
With Kate
okay.
Winslet?
Yes.
Oh, that was
Sounds
good.
a really good one.
And it's actually the only Jack Black role that I found that I can tolerate him in. I hate his comedies, but I went, he can act. He's so romantic and charming.
I
I would
know.
date him.
I would never have thought he'd be in a romantic comedy.
But yeah,
Ever.
it's where they
They
switch
say
places
that about
and
me
they go.
too, you know.
They get away for the holidays.
You don't think of Jack Black as being reined in or understated.
But he was.
I think usually if you see him in a romantic comedy, he's probably just going to be like a side character.
Yeah.
Or somebody's like weird best friend.
Right. Or
well,
Shallow
he
Hal.
is in the
Yeah,
movie.
everyone
He
has
is.
forgotten Shallow Hal was a thing, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would call that movie a romantic comedy.
Why not?
Well, I guess the closest one would say to Jack Black in a romantic comedy is
would.
saving. Oh, what was the guy's? The one from
Private
the.
Ryan.
Oh, Saving
No.
Silverman?
Yes, thank you.
Steve Zahn and
Jason Biggs.
Amanda Peet.
Yeah.
And Jason
Yeah.
Biggs.
And Jason
That
Biggs
was
from the
funny,
American
actually.
Pie.
They're great holiday movies. Great holiday movies.
Amanda, did you say your?
Christmas with the Cranks is
Oh my
definitely
God.
Really? So you're the first person I know who likes
Tolerates.
that movie.
You're the first person
I liked it
know
too.
who's seen it.
No, I saw it for the first time recently with you, and I thought it was fantastic. I mean, Tim Allen, Dan Aykroyd, you can't go wrong there.
I mean, I don't have a really intense opinion about it. All right, you can
I think if you're going to go with a Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis holiday vehicle, then go with Trading Places.
Yes, yep.
That's a great movie.
Much
good
better.
one.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, and it's a terrible movie, I know that, is Jingle All the Way with Arnold
Oh,
Schwarzenegger.
That's
so bad.
I
but
enjoy
it's
that for
so
all the wrong
fun.
reasons.
Yeah, like
It's a fun one.
It's
Phil
such
Hartman.
a fun movie to watch because it's so terrible, but it's like all I want is to see a new version of this movie where now old Arnold and the son have to go buy a toy, except it all takes place on Black Friday and Thanksgiving because that's when you do your Christmas shopping.
So
for
you
his
want a
grandfather.
revival of it? And
It's
they-
like, we're going to buy the new Turbo
sounds
Man. It's like,
perfect.
oh,
I
you already
wanna
bought it?
watch
It's like, no, it's Thanksgiving. It's like, Dad, they're already at a sale. What?
And then Sinbad just shows up. Right.
Yeah. He could be the owner of the store now.
What about Phil Hartman? But Phil Hartman left a big
Just throw his corpse in there.
Oh wow!
Actually,
Wow, Nick.
do what they did with Grand Moff Tarkin with Peter Cushing in Rogue One.
CGI it.
Yeah. Oh god, that's
That would
the
be
worst.
weird.
But that would be the answer.
I-
That's how they
He had
solve-
such a small role too.
Am I the
But we're
only
gonna
black sheep that actually
CGI.
approved and even enjoyed Peter Cushing's presence in Rogue One? I liked it a
It
lot.
was cool. It was a little fake,
was
though.
strange.
A little too
It's
fake.
No. I think it's fake to
never
you
gonna
because you
get-
know it's fake.
Right.
You're never going to get CGI so good that it looks real. It's never going to happen.
Well, De Niro
Well, if
and
you
Pacino,
know that it's CGI, then it's going to spoil it
Yeah,
for
but
you.
in The Irishman, did you
I've
see?
seen the previews. You can tell he's an old man.
I think it
I'm
looked,
looking at him. I'm
it
like,
looked pretty
that's
good.
a lot of pancakes.
You can tell he's barely kicking that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
It's a good one. It's good.
Oh, I've also never seen like any Scorsese movies except for like The Departed. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Goodfellas and Casino.
Nope.
Taxi Driver.
my uncle was
Raging
in
Bull.
Casino.
Interesting.
Yes, my great uncle.
That's a very cool. That's trivia for Nick. Nick's life.
Trivia for me. If you
Yeah.
ever meet me and you don't know the answer to that, you're dead to me.
Or how about they never lived?
Exactly.
Right? We just
You were
became
never
a-
alive. You
just
disintegrate.
became alive.
You disintegrate on the spot.
And Robin, did you tell yours?
Well, I did chime in classic Star Wars trilogy.
Oh,
but
okay, right.
I was also thinking, here's another outlier. I tend to be black sheep in anything. The Count of Monte Cristo. Because
Oh,
there was a Christmas scene in that.
Erica, Jesus,
That's a Christmas party.
She's so excited.
cool.
I didn't realize you were going to get that excited about
All right,
it.
you know what my favorite holiday movie is? Oh, I forgot it. I had it and I lost it.
We'll hold that thought.
That
But
reminds me of Fight
Find
Club,
that
by the way.
Robin, do you have like a quick 1.5 to 2 minute trick for
Let me
us?
see if I can do that with, hi Santa, how you doing?
Okay, I'm still here.
This is about as long distance that I've ever managed, all right? So let me just try this, all right?
Okay.
Santa, are you familiar with a deck of cards?
I've seen them before.
Okay. So you've seen them before. Good. Therefore, you know the numbers, and therefore, you know the 4 suits. Can we agree on that? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, Santa, what I'd like you to do, you can see me, right?
Nope.
No.
All right, then you can hear me. That's still good. All right, Santa, what I'd like you to do is I want you to think of your favorite suit, the one you love, all right? And see the color bright and colorful in your head. Can you do that for me, Santa?
I see the suit, okay?
Okay, now using that suit, I want you to think of a card, not like an ace or a high card, but a really odd one that I can never guess. Can you do that for me, Santa?
Consider it done.
Okay, good. Santa, think of it. Now, bear in mind, we can agree that nothing was prearranged, right? This is my first time seeing you, and this is my first time doing anything by Skype. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I got a lot of catching up with David Blaine to do. So anyway, Santa, the card that you're thinking of, it wouldn't be the Three of Hearts, would it?
No, it would not.
Of course not. But I don't know if you can see this, but everybody around me and the home audience can see that this deck of cards is on this table over here. All right.
Yep.
I'm not touching it. All right. Santa, for the first time, name the card that you were thinking of.
9 of Hearts.
The Nine of Hearts. You sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, in keeping with me not touching the deck, Erica, could you reach over and lift up like a quarter of the deck if you don't mind? Yeah.
A quarter.
Yeah, a quarter of the deck, all right? All right, let's see where you cut. All right? Now, can we agree that you could have cut anywhere you wanted?
Correct.
Anywhere you wanted. Do me a favor, Santa. We're going to work with Santa. I want you to keep the deck face down. I want you to spell Santa's name, but peel away a bottom card, card from the bottom for each letter of Santa's name. Could you do that for me?
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So S. Wait, which way do you want me to face them? Face up or face down?
Face up.
Face.
Okay. Yeah. Peel away. S-A-N-T-A. And I'm sorry. What was your card?
9 of Hearts.
Can everybody see that?
Oh.
Oh! Look at that!
I don't know if the
Do I
camera can
assume
catch
that
up
was
the
a
The Nine of
glare.
Hearts is the card that Erica is now holding in her hands, and true to my word, I didn't touch the deck.
Wow.
Nicely done, sir.
All right, if you were to see a live
I'm
recording of
impressed.
this, Santa, I think you'll appreciate this even more. Thank you so much for your help.
Yes.
You sure you don't want some Mandalorians?
Thank you. Long distance Skype trick. I had to try that out here live.
We got
on
a lot
the
of
radar.
toys to move.
Nice.
All right.
All right, guys. So
Wow.
we are almost out of time, but I just want to go around. It's that time of the show where we give our plugs. What do we have going on that we want to share with the world?
All right.
Amanda, anything?
The latest thing that I'm getting ready for and I'm very scared for is that every New Year's Day I do the polar bear plunge
Oh gosh,
at Coney Island.
I'm cold just thinking about
And I
it.
hope this next year will be like today and tomorrow in the 50s.
Yeah.
And not like yesterday when it was in the 20s.
Yeah, that's
Because 2 years ago was in the high teens. We saw ice crystals on the water. So hopefully it's not like that next year.
And this is what year is this for you?
This is my 5th year doing
Fifth.
it.
Wow, that is dedication. And I would never do that. Probably not. Probably
So
not.
January 1st, come out to Coney Island. It's for a good cause. We donate for the kids for camp. So come on
Awesome.
out, Coney Island.
Cool.
January 1st, 2020.
Let's do it. You guys can do it, not me.
All right.
Robbins, yes.
Yes. Times Square Magic. That is a show taking place in Times Square, New York. It's at a place called LOL Comedy Club. I am headlining several days this
right.
week, especially tomorrow. I'm doing the whole show tomorrow. It's Christmas Eve.
Nice.
So, and I'll be here at this show a couple more dates as well. So, if you are ever in the New York City area, go to LOL Comedy Club. It's in the heart of Times Square, New York. Catch out yours truly at Times Square Magic. All right. That aside, robinchanning.com, and also I'm on social media. So, yay, that's me.
Nice. Erica, anything going on?
Oh, no projects right now, but look me up, Facebook, or email me, erica.a268@hotmail.com. I'm always up for new projects.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Mr. Oakland.
I got nothing to plug. All I got going on is we're finally going to do that Friday the 13th marathon.
Yes.
Where we try and watch all the movies in a row.
All right, we're going to go through Friday the 13th 1 through 10, right? I think that's
Yeah.
Remake 2?
Yeah, and I got to
Good luck
qualify
getting a good night of
Friday,
sleep after that.
Friday vs. Jason and the remake. Like, we got to include those two. Just to see how
We'll
they all go.
discuss after the show.
He's like,
No,
make two.
if we're going to ride the crazy train, it needs to be all the way into the ground.
Sign me
Okay.
up.
Sign me
Is
up.
that all non-stop, one right after the other?
We're going to do it. We're going to maybe have a few
Not do it-
intermissions.
Not all in like one day, because
Yeah.
we will
okay,
literally
yeah.
just try to murder
Our
each other
eyes
at
would
that
fall
point.
out of their sockets.
But we're going to see how much you can watch before you just start losing all
I'm
hope.
thinking 4 is our
Yeah.
limit for one day.
Possibly.
Yeah.
The rest is therapy.
Cool. Anything else going on, or?
Nope, that's it.
All righty, cool. The Commando.
Yes, the wrestling podcast about wrestling is dead. It
No!
was being rebranded. It's being... listen to the second part.
Okay,
guys.
I got really sad
It's
for a
being
second.
rebranded.
Okay, good.
It's going to
Retooled.
be about anything I damn well feel like talking about, and it's going to be titled Command the Mic with one M because of my last name.
All right.
And it is so great. And be on the lookout for that eventually. Maybe the first episode will be observing you two lunatics watch all that Jason stuff.
That's an idea.
We'd be honored to have you.
Yeah,
also, You're not
yeah.
going to call it the Anything Podcast about anything?
No.
Okay.
No. That's actually pretty good. I regret my decision.
Or chain of command.
With one M.
Yes.
At Nick Commando on Twitter and Instagram, one M in my last name. I'm not the Schwarzenegger movie. If you think I am, you'll be incredibly disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Over to you,
right.
Forrest.
All right, I am currently in pre-production on a short film that I co-wrote, co-starring in, and co-directing.
All right.
And if anybody's got a
Is it called Co?
no, and if anybody's got a football field or office
tried.
space we can film in, that would be appreciated.
All right. Cool. And more info on that later on.
I think we're out of time.
All right, yeah, we are actually. But guys, I wanted to just wish everybody, my wonderful guests today, my critics, happy holidays to each and every one of you.
Happy holidays.
First night of Hanukkah.
Can
Yeah.
I just give one quick plug real
Oh,
quick?
sorry, Santa.
No, you forget me in the beginning, you forget me
I
in the
know,
end. Shame on
I
you.
know, right?
I know, that's 2 lumps of coal.
Oh, wow.
We've paired with a couple of law firms in Lower Manhattan to do a toy drive for next year. You can find out more about it at NewYorkSanta.org. That's NYSanta.org. And we're collecting toys for children at St. Mary's Hospital, Blythedale Children's Hospital, and lots of other places around the city. So please check out NewYorkSanta.org.
Awesome. And Santa, I want to collaborate with you with my Ghostbusters gear, whenever.
You're on. We're going to have you next year, maybe even on Christmas Day if you're available.
All right, we'll see what happens. That's
Okay.
very likely. All right.
I'll land a sleigh and pick you up.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. So, guys, I just want to thank some people possibly watching right now. I've got my editor and videographer, Rachel Kolb. Without her, I would not be able to do most of this stuff. I've done many interviews and red carpets with her, so she's an integral part of Under the Radar. Also, Matt Haberman. He's the wonderful voice you hear at the beginning of every show. He's my wonderful announcer and fellow Ghostbuster. Good guy. And also Bobby Lacera, who is our station manager here at Strong Island Television. Thank you guys for helping out with all the technical stuff and just being there every step of the way. And to my viewers and all my guests from the past few years, thank you for being on, for talking movies with me. You guys are awesome. And everyone watching at home and on your devices, thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays to everyone. So we'll see you next week with more Under the Radar. I'm your host, Randy Younger. Thanks so much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Under the Radar is all new next week with more movie reviews and interviews on Strong Island Radio and Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.